Good evening, everybody, and welcome to At Lafayette Live here on Monday, June 23rd, 2025. I hope your week is off to a great start. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday evening. It means so much to me that you join us every week. And don't forget, as you get loaded in, let us know in the chat, where are you watching from? Are you here in the Greater Lafayette area? Are you in Lafayette or West Lafayette? We get a lot of people watching from all over Indiana. We even have people watching from all over the country, and got a few friends, clients, people perhaps interested in moving here from the Chicago area, and definitely some people with Purdue connections and Greater Lafayette connections that watch pretty regularly from California and Texas, Florida. I see the occasional Arizona. So drop in the chat right now where you're watching from, and thank you so very much for joining us. It means so much to me that you're here on a Monday night, as we are here most Monday nights on At Lafayette Live. And if you're interested in home here in the Greater Lafayette area, I'd love to be your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. Please go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and fill out the form and let me know how I can help you find home here in the Greater Lafayette area. We have a lot to talk about, so let's dive in. We'll see how this evening goes. We may not even get to all of it, but we'll see. First up, we have some traffic-related news, if you will. If you ever drive through the Greater Lafayette area on 9th Street, the intersection of 9th and Kossuth is interesting. They redid it a few years ago and put in brick pavers. And unfortunately, this hasn't worked so well. It is bumpy, it is bad. There are trees that have come up and torn up the sidewalks. And while there's some paver areas downtown that have worked beautifully, unfortunately, this intersection has not done that. So the city of Lafayette is contracting with company VS Engineering for almost $625,000 to come in and do a study and put together a plan to improve drainage and rideability at this intersection. The plans include that they're going to replace the pavers with concrete that's going to be stamped to look like pavers, and they're going to redo the sidewalks. They're going to pull up some trees. They're going to put in some offsets so that we can still have trees that are also going to help slow traffic a little through the area, because this is a high traffic area sort of thing. So that's happening. They don't, I think, have a timeline on exactly when they're going to start the work. Let's see here. More to come as we get dates on that. Also in the realm of road construction news, Lafayette has been working on a project to refit 73 manholes throughout Lafayette that have become traffic hazards and have sunken, have become uneven, have become problems, and to level them out and make the roads much more smooth around these manholes. It's 73 manholes total that they did on 9th Street, on 18th Street, and some other thoroughfares throughout the city, and now they're going to be flush with the pavement. They started this work back in August, and they now have that done. So if you're driving over a manhole here in Lafayette, congratulations. It should be a lot smoother now. Take a minute and hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss a minute of all of our videos here on the Lafayette Reel. Continuing on, I guess the beginning theme for today is traffic news. Definitely lots of traffic. There is a bridge over the Wabash River, Indiana 225, that is kind of over by Americus, that general vicinity, that has been closed for since 2022. My goodness. I was going to say 2023, but it was 2022 indeed. It's a single lane bridge. It's an old bridge that was built in 1912 between Indiana 25, old Indiana 25, and Battleground. All of the bids came in over estimates, so they're going to relet the bids in January, this coming January. They are expecting construction to come in at $5.5 million, and once construction starts, they're expecting it to last at least 18 months. So if the bids are let in January of 26, we're talking easily into 27. That's a really, really long time, and I know that bridges are expensive, but you got to wonder at some point, like, would it have just been easier to, build a new bridge? I don't know. But take a minute, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss a minute of all of our videos here on the Lafayette Reel. We put out new content on a daily basis, fun things to do in the area, real estate, neighborhood tours, everything that you want to know about Greater Lafayette. But don't miss them by hitting the subscribe button. There is yet another high-rise coming to West Lafayette. Chauncey Hill Mall was all the rage, all the talk for such a long time about redevelopment, and that project finally got underway earlier this year. I believe they're vertical at this point. They certainly have the cranes up there. I haven't driven right by the site recently. But there is the strip across from the old Chauncey Hill Mall called the Chauncey Hill Annex that had that same architectural finish that Chauncey Hill Mall did. And there is a new building that is going to go up there. LV Collective, who is an Austin, Texas-based company, which is building the Rambler down on the levee, has announced a new $250 million. I'm sorry, that is their $250 million project. They're going to build a new project on the old Chauncey Hill Annex that's going to include 290 units with a total of 816 beds. And there will also be about 5,500 square feet of retail space down on the first floor and a parking garage. This is surrounded by State Street, Chauncey, South Street, and an alley. The first hearing is probably going to go before area plan on August 20th, which means West Lafayette could be voting on it as soon as September. And I think that there's probably no doubt in my mind that this will go ahead. After the first couple of high-rises went up, West Lafayette took a little pause on building high-rises to evaluate and make sure of what is up to your discretion, what you thought that what was. But they not only came off the brakes, they hit the gas, and there are just buildings and high-rises going up like crazy in the area. And I don't think that there's any doubt that this plan will go forward. I don't think that the developer will have gotten this deep into it without consulting with the city and with area plans. So it's interesting to see how many new beds are going to be going up in total. I read somewhere that it was something along the lines of 8,000 new beds going up between all of these projects. I don't know that number is true. I don't know if that's the actual number. I need to go back and do some work on figuring that out, but you do wonder at one point if there's going to be a swing. The pendulum swings on all things, like from one end, not nearly enough housing to a glut too much of housing, but then it will swing back towards equilibrium at some point. I'm not saying that it's going to be too much. Maybe it will be just what we need, but there's a lot of development going on, so that is another new development coming to the West Lafayette area. Well, not just to the West Lafayette area, to West Lafayette. Enjoying your Monday evening so far? Again, so glad that you have all joined us as you join us every week here on At Lafayette Live, hosted by the Lafayette Reel. And I'm Geoff Gooch, your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. And if you're looking for a home here in the Lafayette area, please go to the LafayetteReel.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let me know how I can help you here in the Greater Lafayette area. We talked about this earlier this year, that the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation was announced development of our green space riverfront area north of Tapawingo, south of Sagamore, that is going to turn into more parkland. There's going to be some pedestrian bridges. But in the last week or two, it was announced that the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has given a $2.5 million grant to clean up the old Lafayette paperboard mill, which used to be there on the Wabash River and was closed years ago and was razed. And now there is concern of contamination there, so they're going to clean that 14-acre site up that is at 40 Chestnut Street. $2 million from the federal brownfields cleanup grant, and another $500,000 from the city of Lafayette. So there is some real forward progress on what is going to be a pretty awesome green space once that is all done, and it's going to tie together Tapawingo Park, it's going to tie together the riverfront, it's going to tie together Happy Hollow all into one big riverfront recreation area, and it's really going to improve, I think, our outdoor recreation here in the Greater Lafayette area. What do you think about that? Leave a comment below or drop something in the chat. Let me know what you think about all these. Moving on, next up is something that's pretty controversial here in the area over the last month or two, and that is the Rainbow Trout Solar Project that has been slated to come to the western part of the county. And if you've been following this story at all, this is a large-scale, utility-scale solar farm out on farmland out west that landowners have contracted with this company to come out and establish this solar farm. And the company is Genex Power, and the project is the Rainbow Trout Solar Project. Neighbors have been up in arms about this, to the point that Area Plan Commission instituted in the last couple of weeks a year-long moratorium on solar power development here in Tippecanoe County, so that the area plan can reevaluate the current land use regulations and rules around that. But fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, that did not stop rainbow trout from happening, because of course you can't post facto change the law, change regulations. These GeneX had already submitted their applications, and it had to be considered with the current rules in place. But related to that is that GeneX has asked Area Plan to pull off of their schedule the approval for zoning for rainbow trout, so that ostensibly they can do some more engagement with neighbors and getting some communication out there about what this project is and what it means for the long term. Everybody's got opinions on this. The landowners have opinions on this. The neighbors have opinions on this. I've got opinions on this. I know you've got opinions on this. But regardless of what your opinion is, there's going to be a little bit of a pause right now, so ostensibly GeneX can talk to their neighbors and cross all the T's and dot all the I's about what's going on with this project. We'll keep following up and see what develops. And speaking of development, we do our best to stay on top of development here on the Lafayette Reel and at Lafayette Live. And if you're interested in home here in the Greater Lafayette area, if you're a landowner, a homeowner, and you'd be interested in knowing what your home is worth, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube and fill out the form, and let's work together. We're moving right along, making good progress here. This is excellent. We might actually get through all of this tonight. We talked a lot in the last few months about SK Hynix. This is the South Korean chip manufacturer that manufactures chips for NVIDIA that are used largely in the AI field these days, coming to West Lafayette, and Area Plan Commission having recommended a no vote on the rezone of Site B, despite the fact that Site A already had the appropriate zoning, and West Lafayette deciding to go ahead and give the approval to Site B. A lot of neighbors are really, really upset about this and want to put a stop to it. So 2 lawsuits have challenged the rezoning for the SK Hynix Site B. They were filed on June 4th, and the accusations are along the lines of the city is ignoring recommendations from experts and from Area Plan Commission. The issues here, I think the interrelated issues here, though, are, one, if you've followed along with this at all, Site A versus Site B. Site A already had the I3 zoning. Site B didn't. SK Hynix said they would probably just go back to Site A if they didn't get the rezoning approval for Site B. Site B got the rezoning approval. Area Plan rejected it, but that is a recommendation. It is not binding on the city. The city is always free to do as it wants. I mean, that is the process. If area plan was binding, there would be no reason, there would be no need for the city to have its own votes. So I'm not sure how far that's going to go. Not a legal expert, but we'll see what happens. And then there was a second lawsuit filed. The city, Purdue Research Foundation, Area Plan Commission have not responded yet in these cases. Circuit Court Judge Sean Person has set a June 30th date to discuss scheduling for the complaint. And you had better be sure that we're going to be following along with these lawsuits, because this is the development story of 2025 here in the Greater Lafayette area. And if you want to stay up to date on what's going on with all of that, hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure that you don't miss a minute of our updates here on At Lafayette Live. We talked a couple of months ago, about the West Lafayette Safety Center, Public Safety Center, and it's happening. The bids came in on target for what the West Lafayette Redevelopment Commission thought that they were going to be. So this project is moving forward, and on July 15th, there is going to be a groundbreaking for West Lafayette's new fire and police station that is on the former City Hall site. The total cost is going to be about $73 million, including all the design and furnishings and other soft costs. I know that there had been some concern about steel tariffs and everything driving up the costs of the bids, but it turns out that they accounted for everything they needed to account for. It's going to be paid for partly out of an 11-year, $58.5 million bond issue. The center is pretty cool. It's almost 133,000 square feet on 2.6 acres. It's going to be a much more modern facility for both police and fire. Going to be much better for them. And like I said, the groundbreaking is in July, and I was just looking to see if I could find a completion date, and I don't see it in front of me. So hit the like and subscribe button, and then that way you can find out as soon as I find out what the completion date is on this project. Doing all right? Excellent. We're going to keep moving. We're making good speed here. Next up, there was a big development that was announced about a month or two ago. And this is the new 11-acre development that's going to be mixed use apartments and retail down on the main floor. 11 acres that are between Tapawingo Drive and River Road. And the West Lafayette Redevelopment Commission started a process to set up tax increment finance districts, or TIF districts, to help pay for the streets and utility infrastructures on this new development that is called the District at Tapawingo. And if you followed along at all with the levee project, the city has been talking for years about rationalizing the street down there and turning it into a grid instead of the cattywampus kind of crazy streets that it is. And what this project is going to do is it's going to move the onus of building the streets to the developer of this really, really large project, to the district at Tapawingo. And then it will set up the process whereby the TIF funds will be captured and repaid to the developer on a set schedule. So the city's getting streets out of it, the developer is building them, but they're getting paid for them with TIF taxes. So Trinitas is the developer there. They're going to get those built. Sounds like this is coming along. They have to get those specific terms of the deal negotiated, but I think this is happening. So it's going to be another big development. Speaking earlier about big developments, 960 units, 1,800 beds on this one. And if you want to stay up to date, hit the like and subscribe button so that you make sure that you don't miss a minute of all the stuff going on with this project. The West Lafayette Country Club, which is over on the corner of Sagamore and, I gotta find the street name, 300 West. It's been there for years and years and years, has been closed, and is finally listed up for sale. if you're looking to buy an 18-hole golf course with a clubhouse, it's currently listed for $8 million. It's 120 acres. My guess is that this will be bought by a developer who will turn it into more housing, and it will not continue to be a golf club. I could be wrong on that, but if you want to find out if I'm right or wrong, hit the like and subscribe button and come back and find out what happens. We're going to be keeping an eye on this particular sale. Next one is a little controversial. Purdue University here in West Lafayette is a state university. It's a state institution. And there was a new law slipped into the state budget at the end of this legislative session that degree programs had to hit certain metrics concerning enrollment, and otherwise they would need to be eliminated. And there were 40 plus programs that did not meet the metrics at Purdue University. A large number of them in the College of Liberal Arts. And Purdue University has reacted by talking to these departments and saying, you know, if this was a program you were thinking about cutting, now would be the time. Or if you were, you know, interested in combining with somebody else, but they're not going to be able to save everybody. I'm going to read this list. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because it is a pretty sizable list. So stick with me here. Bachelor's, African American Studies, American Studies, Art History, Asian Studies, Classical Studies, Comparative Literature, French, German, Global Studies, Italian Studies, Japanese, Linguistics, Religious Studies, Russian, Theater, Visual Arts Education, Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies. Master's, American Studies, Comparative Literature, History, Languages and Cultures, Linguistics, Philosophy, Political Science, Design, Dramatic Arts, Anthropology, Fine Arts, and PhDs in Comparative Literature and Sociology/Gerontology. Now, this is not a comprehensive list. This is a list that is largely from the from the College of Liberal Arts. The university is going to evaluate its options. They're going to give some programs time to ramp up to see if they can get to the thresholds. There are others that they're going to eliminate, and somewhere in the middle there'll probably be some that they combine. Whatever you might think about this, it's happening. It's state law. The only way to change it would be to go back and change state law. So if you care about this, you should call up your state legislator and tell them to go back and change this law. But otherwise, this is happening, and we'll be following the story. So if you want to follow the story, hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any details about these program cuts at Purdue University. This is not exactly next door, but if you live here in the Greater Lafayette area, I guarantee you at some point you have gone to Indianapolis. Some of us do it a lot, some of us do it a little. But if you've been to Indianapolis, you've probably driven the ring road I-465. Well, the Department of Transportation is going to increase the speed limit from 55 miles an hour to 65 miles an hour beginning next month. It's going to be phased in sections around the ring road. This is kind of laughable in some ways because if you've ever been on 465, 65 miles an hour, you might get run over doing that. It's, you know, it's a raceway. But, you know, there are rules and laws about how traffic limits are set, and for years and years and years, it's been 55 miles an hour. So now they're going to ramp it up to 65 miles an hour. So if you're on 465, get ready to legally go a little bit faster. Next up, we're going to take a tour of 3 $1 million luxury homes here in the Greater Lafayette area. Let me get set up for this. We're going to begin with 1130 Kingswood Road. We're going to begin with 1130 Kingswood Road in West Lafayette. This is just a little north of town. So this is 1130 Kingswood Road in West Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 6 baths. Sit down. It is 6,764 square feet on 1.55 acres. Currently listed at oh, there we go. My highlighter wasn't working. Currently listed at $1.3 million. So like I said, this one is just a little north of town. Let's take a look at the map just to place it. So 1.3 million. Zooming out. Sorry, this one's a little west of town. So here is Purdue University. You can tell that by the runways over here at the airport. It's just a little west of town. Fairly small luxury neighborhood here. So let's take a tour. Again, 1130 Kingswood Road in West Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 6 baths, 6,764 square feet on 1.55 acres. Big, beautiful brick home. You have an in-ground pool, perfect for this roasting hot summer that we have going on right now. The pergola out there, got a diving board. Got the grand staircase in the living room with lots and lots of windows that'll need lots and lots of cleaning. Magnificent mantle and built-ins looking the other way. You have the coffered ceiling up above. We have the kitchen with an interesting layout. The ovens are pretty far away from the stove. That does not really meet the triangle. I guess the triangle might be a little out of vogue right now. You have the eat-in portion as well as the den. So kind of the kitchen, eat-in area, and den are its own living area in addition to the living room. Fairly common layout these days. Kind of the den, kitchen den, if you will. Look at that beautiful wood-paneled office. If that's your style, it doesn't get better than that. Grand entryway with the dining room, and you can see they've made it light and airy by not having the wall separating out the dining room. Not quite a wraparound staircase, but it does turn the angle a little bit, and you've got the columns there. The large 2-story grand room. At least they've gone not TV too high over here in the corner, although with the furniture arrangement, nobody's really looking at that TV. Go downstairs to the rec room, and you got the gas fireplace down there. There's a bedroom downstairs and a bathroom downstairs as well. They have this set up as a theater room. Not sure if those chairs come with. You could offer on them. A lot of times the old pool tables will come with the house. Big rec area downstairs. Got a room set up as a gym. Looks like it's got the gym mat floors in there. Downstairs, bathroom. And then we move upstairs. What is up with that bedroom set? Look at that. Lexan or plastic or all angles, and wow. Wow, wow. Got the garden soaking tub. I think this is the primary here. Yes. Lots of columns in this house. Some of them feel like they're a little bit out of place. I'm not sure those are actually structural. I think those might just be decorative. A gigantic shower. And a master closet that is as large as some starter homes. So that is 1130 Kingswood Road in West Lafayette. It is 4 bedrooms, 6 baths, 6,764 square feet on 1.55 acres, listed for $1,300,000. And if you'd like to go see it, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube and fill out the form. And let's go tour this house together. What do you say? All right, we're going to move on to our next home tour for this evening. Again, we're looking at $3 million homes here in the Greater Lafayette area. And next up, we have, let me get loaded up here. I'm going to move my windows around. We're going to look at 1411 Santana Drive in Lafayette. This is a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 5,510 square feet on 1.78 acres. Let's put it on the map so that we can have some reference for where we're talking about. And this is kind of in the Wildcat Highlands area, just a little, not a little north, a little east of town over by the Wildcat Creek. Here it is on the map. We're looking right here. Here's Santana. This is Eisenhower Road, which is the main road north of Wildcat Creek. And I'm just going to zoom out so you can see where it is. Here's I-65 through here. This is 26 down here at the bottom. So this is the north end. So it's just over here. Outside of town isn't even really right. It's just on the east side of town. But let's go take a tour. Again, we are looking at 1411 Santana Drive in Lafayette. 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 5,510 square feet, 1.78 acres, currently listed for $1,095,000. So we got the brick facade, a lovely deck facing nature, and I think that's the creek out back there, Wildcat Creek. Not sure if that is a composite deck or wood deck. It might be composite. I'm trying to see if there's a note on it. Can't tell quickly. Here we go. Here's the screened-in porch. You can see they've actually got heaters on stands in there. The driveway through the woods. We move into the gourmet kitchen. This has the built-in appliances. Look at the range on this one. This is beautiful. Large prep island. Built-ins that make a little more sense. Seating for 5 at the island. That is indeed a Wolf. I think that's an 8-burner. Has the pot filler. That's always a nice feature. Looking back out into the living/eat-in dining area that is part of the kitchen suite, if you will. Fairly common layout these days on this kind of luxury house. TV too high. Glass French doors looking out front. Got the eat-in dining area, the breakfast nook, if you will. Another beautifully paneled wood office. Only the built-ins are paneled. The entire office is not in this particular case. Heading on to the dining room that does not have the separate wall, so it maintains a big open airy feeling. Moving up to the primary suite where we have tray ceilings. We have a sitting area and a fireplace, a 3-sided fireplace. I'm pretty sure that's a gas fireplace built in. Moving into the primary bath, we have the obligatory garden tub, glass block shower, and we start moving into the secondaries. Laundry room, that's interesting. They've put a little counter between the washer and dryer. Another secondary bedroom. And another. Hope you like windows. There are lots of windows in this house. Nice light and airy. We move down to the rec area with the built-in fireplace. They have this set up as a pool area. You have the wet bar back here with the living area set up. You want to make an offer on the pinball table to come with it. Yep, wet bar. You got sink and dishwasher. Really, all you need to add is a stove, and you have a full second kitchen, which would probably not be that hard to do. Great rec area downstairs. And here we get into the layout on this one. So you can kind of see you came in the main foyer with the dining area. the great room, family room, breakfast nook all here. The primary suite off to the left. The second, third, and fourth bedrooms off here to the right. Two of them being en suite. The other one not being en suite, but basically being private when you don't have guests over. And then moving down to the downstairs, you have the large rec area with the wet bar and one bedroom and a bathroom with utility space off of it. So that is 1411 Santana Drive in Lafayette. It is, again, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 5,510 square feet on 1.78 acres. And if you would like to go see that one, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's talk about going to see this beautiful, beautiful home. Next up in our tour of $1 million homes here in the Lafayette area is 629, make sure I'm saying this right, 629 Perry Lane. We're going to look at 629 Perry Lane, which is just a little north of town. And let's just go ahead and put it on the map. So this is just north of West Lafayette. It is just off of Salisbury. It's 50 west up where the house is, but it starts life as Salisbury. Just getting the map in just the right place, and let's have a look. So here it is. Here's the address. This is 50 west. This is Salisbury. And if we zoom out, we'll see, here's the home. I'm going to zoom out one more time. Here's West Lafayette. It's a straight shot down Salisbury. Payless, our local Kroger, is right here. This is a 5-minute drive, 8 minutes in traffic. It's nothing at all. It is super close to town, yet slightly out in the country. Slightly less in the country than it used to be. Slightly less in the country than it probably will be in the future. But let's go take a tour. We are looking at 629 Perry Lane in West Lafayette. 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,645 square feet. This one on 3.77 acres, listed at $1,190,000. And we can see the front. You get your own lake with a pedal boat and a garage/workshop out back here. Heading into the front door. It is lovely. Large and grand without being overstated, I think. A little more modern in tonality than some of this type. You have the eat-in kitchen and dining room. This is really a different concept of eat-in. It's a modern concept. You have the living room, family room over here to the left, and you have the dining room kitchen over here to the right. And it's not just a breakfast nook. It's the actual dining room. I think that's an efficient use of space in this particular case. And the kitchen is large without being obscene. Rather like this one. Got a music room up front. Got the 6-burner stove. The in-the-wall ovens. The farmhouse style sink. Here's our music room with the sliding barn doors. Again, here's the great room. 2 stories with the overlook from above. Large without being ostentatious. We have the downstairs bathroom. We have an office. Laundry/mud room. And we have a large bathroom that, again, is not ostentatious. We have a soaking tub, and we have a shower nook over here. Compared to some houses of this type, this is much more modern. This one was built in 2017. It is only 8 years old. Sliding barn doors separating off the primary bath and master closets. Move into the secondary bedrooms and bathroom. Again, there are 6 bedrooms in this home. Here's the back elevation. Porch could use a little bit of cover. Got our garage, workshop. They certainly like gardening. And there's the aerial view. You see the house, the separate garage, workshop, and your own private lake. So this is 629 Perry Lane in West Lafayette, just a little north of town. 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,645 square feet on 3.77 acres. Currently listed for $1,190,000. And if you'd like to see this one, go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's work together on going to see this beautiful, beautiful home. And with that, we're going to wrap up At Lafayette Live for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. It means so much to me that you join me every week. And don't forget that I am your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. If you're looking for a home here in the area, whether you're looking to move here, whether you're looking to upsize or downsize, whether you're looking to move away, whether you just want to know the value of your home, I'd love to be your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. Please go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and let's work together. And with that, we will see you again next week for At Lafayette Live here on the Lafayette Reel. Thanks so much for watching.